But we have the management of Finolex Industries on the phone line with us. A strong quarter for the company, profits jumping by about 3 times. Let's speak with Prakash Chhabria, the executive chairman at Finolex Industries. Morning, Mr. Chhabria. Thank you for taking the time. It's been a good quarter for the company. Profits are up by about 3 times. Expenses are also lower. If you could just run us through the highlights of the quarter gone by and what's worked for you this time around.
The quarter has been pretty strong, that is true, and that is because the deltas between the raw material and the finished products was strong. There was a good demand in the market for PVC pipes and fittings. So all in all, a good quarter, and overall the year also has been very good. Our profits are up by about 400%, even though the sales have been flat in rupee terms, whereas in volume terms, the pipe business has been up by about 12%.
Mr. Chhabria, good morning. This is Hiral on this side. If you talk from the debt point of view, if you see the finance cost, that has gone down in this quarter. So if you could just tell us how much have you been able to repay in the fourth quarter, and how much, what's the current debt, and what's your target in terms of our FY17 is concerned? How much do you plan to repay as well?
Yeah, sure. Let me go back a little bit. About 4 years ago, when our debt was about 1,000 crores, we decided to focus on our cash flows very strongly, and we have been reducing our debt year on year without the sale of any assets or raising of equity. And the overall debt during the year ending of March 31st, 2016 was about 200 odd crores. So going forward, I think very soon we should become debt free.
Okay.
Right. A word on, you touched upon the volume picture. What's the outlook on that going forward? You've had 2 weak monsoons. There's expectations that monsoon this time around will be strong. How is that likely to impact your volumes in the quarters ahead?
Personally, I feel, monsoons, good or bad, the basic issue is whether it's a farmer or whether it's a city or a manufacturing unit, everybody requires water. So to transport water from A to B, basically you require pipes. So pipes is something which all of us will have to live with forever, I think. So there are certain marginal aberrations during seasons, especially during the monsoon season, which will be the next quarter. So this quarter and the third, fourth quarter, I think should be very good.
Mr. Chhabria, on the back of the water crisis as well as drought, the Maharashtra government is looking to change the traditional irrigation network. It has decided to adopt a closed pipe distribution system for all the new projects. So pipes and not canals will supply water. So what are the kind of benefits that you see as a company? Are you already supplying these kind of pipes?
I'm very happy that you asked that question because, our Prime Minister, our Chief Minister have been doing a lot of groundwork which is very good for our country, and yes, then it directly also benefits my company, but really speaking it also helps our country, and that is to conserve water. There are so many countries in the world who look at water to be as more precious than gold, and we are also focusing on that. So yes, this will directly translate into additional business for us.
Just quantify what's the kind of opportunity that you're seeing in this. What benefit will your company in particular get from this?
This is brand new business, and the announcement has been recently made, but based on some of our internal and external studies, we find this is going to be an additional opportunity of another between 7,000 to 10,000 crores of additional business over the next 5 years.
Mr. Chhabria, talking about the capacity expansion plans as well, currently, if I'm not mistaken, your capacity stands at close to 250,000 tons per annum. Any plans to further expand it in terms of our FY17 is concerned? And if yes, what's the capex outlay that you are looking at?
We always maintain a growth of double digit in volume terms for our pipes and fittings business. And therefore, our current production capacity is 280,000 tons and not 250. And keeping in mind our trend, and like I mentioned about the potential new businesses, we will add another about 30 to 35,000 tons of PVC pipe and fitting production capacity, which will help us to be able to meet some of the demand.
Right. Talking about the mix of your pipes and fitting business, I believe it's at around 70 to 75% currently. Are you looking to rejig that, possibly increase that ratio going forward?
Our agri business is 70% and our non-agri business is 30%. within that, the fittings overall business is hardly about 10% to 12%. And we are trying to push it to close to 20, which will happen, I think, in the coming years.
Mr. Chhabria, if you talk in terms of the operating margins are concerned, over the last couple of quarters, we did witness high volatility on the back of significant forex losses due to currency as well as commodity fluctuations. Any of these kinds seen in terms of the fourth quarter, or are we expected to see something similar in the first half of FY17?
There have hardly been any forex losses in any of the last 4 quarters, and that is mainly because of the rupee being range bound. Going forward, I still think we are expecting the rupee to be range bound, and therefore there should not be any unexpected surprises.
Right. Last question, Mr. Chhabria. What's the outlook for FY17? What more can we expect from Finolex in the year ahead?
We are a cyclical industry, so giving too many forward-looking statements is not the most prudent thing. But even though I can still say that seeing what the new announcements have been done by the central government and by the state government, I think this year also will be another exceptionally good year.
Right, Mr. Chhabria, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for joining us this morning. As the management of Finolex Industries looking to tap into the opportunity of the recently announced policy by Maharashtra government to transport all water from new dams via pipes instead of canals. Positive outlook for FY17 going ahead. Let's take a break at this point. Also on the show coming up, connect with the management of all cargo logistics. A strong quarter from this one. We'll get the outlook on the other side.